On today's edition, we chat to upcoming contestant on Nine's Celebrity Apprentice Australia, Alex Hayes, which premieres Sunday, the 23rd of May. If you are one of his 500,000 plus social media followers, you'll know him well. Otherwise, it may be a case of Alex who, or you might know that he is what is dubbed as a social media influencer. And for some, that term immediately brings a negative connotation to your mind. As an interviewer, and as the audience, let's go on a journey together and meet this young man and learn more about this term, media influencer. Alex Hayes, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, I want to start with some self-reflection. You're more than 500,000 followers will know why they clicked the follow button for you. But let me ask you why you think they follow you. What attracts them to the Alex Hayes brand?
Geez, that's a good question to kick it off. I'm not exactly sure because my whole goal with my presence on social media is to inspire people to open their minds to reach their own success. And I guess people might have this urge to follow me because it gives them this feeling of they can achieve whatever they put their mind to. And that's my goal with everything I do, is to literally open people's minds to their own success. And I want to have that impact on people that, I can spread the reality of life and the positivity that can help, some people get out of some negative thoughts, I guess, sometimes. And I also just love to do fun stuff and, not take life too seriously, because we're all here just to have a good experience. And I just like to showcase my experience.
Well, perhaps if you put out a lot of positivity and people actually are following you, maybe there's people that out there that are still looking for hope, hope in this world, and that they can strive and do better. So it's awesome. As a influencer, you obviously influence others, but who influences Alex Hayes?
I find inspiration and I get influenced by, I think, every single person in this world. No matter who I meet, I feel like there's something that I can learn through everyone I come across along my journey, because there's a bit of myself in everyone. So it's cool to be able to just, I say sponge mode, because I love to listen to people's stories and see how much I can learn and relate and just get on a conversation basis. And I do have, I do have a lot of great inspirations and figures that I look up to. There's like Wim Hof, who's an incredible influence of mine. And then there's David Goggins, who's inspired me to really push myself out of my comfort zones when it comes to, exercise. And then there's like surfers. I'm inspired by a lot of professional surfers like Kai Lenny. And even just some of my good friends who have been through some tough times. A good friend of mine, Ollie Dessette, he lost his leg in an accident, but he didn't let it stop him from chasing his dreams. And so I have a really good bunch of good influences in front of me that I can learn from and get inspiration from.
Awesome. Blonde hair, blue eyes, young, athletic, good looking, positive, a life on the water, a perfect life. Would that sum you up pretty well? Or is there a whole different complex and emotional man behind those happy Instagram pictures and videos?
Look, I think no matter who you are, you go through emotions. And as blessed as I am to live this incredible life, with all the highs, there's always the lows. But it's just, for myself to gather the understanding that you can't have those highs without those lows, because it's the ups and downs of life, the roller coaster. But all in all, I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to do what I love and hang out with the people I love and just be in this moment, I guess.
Yeah. Well, in preparation for this interview, I watched a lot of videos, interviews, and articles about you. I'll be honest and say that I have seen a lot of, I guess, surface level stuff about you. I mean, you love sushi and tacos. You love Justin Bieber and Eminem. You've got a great friend. I've heard you talk about Jay Alvarez. You like surfing. In one of your interviews, you said that one of your fears is tomatoes. Is this a deliberate strategy to portray the positive guy that loves the ocean, or is it that you like to keep your, private life private, or do you find it difficult to be vulnerable in the public eye?
Um, I'm not sure because I there's no not too much strategy behind it, to be completely honest with you. I just share what I feel like sharing, and I do enjoy my private life, but also like I understand that by me being vulnerable, it will help quite a lot of people. It's quite often that I be vulnerable on my own channels, but I guess just in interviews in the past years, the only questions I'm asked are about my fear of tomatoes.
Look, I've asked you that question because although you are definitely a positive person that enjoys life and makes the most out of it, I definitely see a lot more behind the sushi and taco man. Your passion for life and positive mental health, your scars from bullying, you have genuine worries and fears. You're making positive change. You're being a social media changer rather than a social media influencer. All that's evident if you delve a bit deeper or read between the lines. Do you think you're sort of ready to step out and show the world all of Alex Hayes, or as an influencer, is there a pressure on maintaining a brand?
Oh, look, for sure. I've kind of just come off like a bit of a 2 year, I'd say definitely the last year, but maybe even 2 years of I've kind of really just not made my focus around social media and more so around my personal growth as just a human being. So I kind of amassed a bit of a following at a young age. I was in the social eye since I was about 14,
Yeah.
and building a following from then, it kind of led me to the point of like I had a following. I have all these things that I want to do in this life, but I still just needed to kind of grow up a little bit. I was lucky enough to travel a lot and meet incredible people and have all these incredible experiences, make a bit of money. But I got to this point where I was like, I really need to focus on, my direction, my future, my mental health, and if I'm preaching about all this stuff and personal growth, I need to really, take my own advice. So it's been quite a weird 2 years because I haven't really focused too much on social media at all, which is why there might be that, you know, only a surface level look into the Alex Hayes
Yeah.
online. But I've just been growing and, looking after myself and getting ready to really level up, I guess, and take my brand and my personality to the next level in terms of wanting to help other people online and really be that example rather than just a preacher who doesn't follow what he preaches.
I want to talk to you about the bullying at school. There are many kids out there who are bullied at school for all sorts of reasons: gender, sexual orientation, weight, appearance, socioeconomic background, culture, beliefs. I look to you as someone that can achieve in spite of adversity. I know there would be a whole range of people thinking with you, with your sort of surfy looks and coolness, you would have been the most popular person at school. So why is it that you were bullied?
Look, it's a question I'll never know the answer to, but in hindsight, I guess, you know, when you go to like an all guys school, there's a bit of, I mean, that you're surrounded by a lot of insecurity and there's a lot of ego as well, because, at the end of the day, just a bunch of young kids that don't really know. So, I guess I was just the kid that was out there a bit. I was doing nippers, I did singing lessons. I was just kind of trying everything, and I guess people were jealous, and I'm not really sure. I'll never know the answer as to why people chose to bully me, but it's something that I went through, and I wouldn't change it for the world because it's grown my character to actually be quite understanding in a lot of situations for other people, and also just to know that I don't really care what other people think. Like,
Mm.
I've been through it all and I've been surrounded by judgment in my whole school life. And so it's just kind of taught me to really not care and only care about my loved ones, and to care about my intuition and to really just follow the path.
Uh, I just want to delve a little bit deeper though into this bullying idea. I mean, I read online that you were bullied, but that's about it. I mean, what did the actual bullying look like? I mean, was it actual physical or name calling or threats?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to a psychologist pretty much every day when I was in high school.
Wow.
Um, Sometimes in recess and lunch, because it was just a little bit too much sometimes. And although I had friends around too, I was always just kind of like the outcast. And then at the age when parties were becoming a thing, I would often go out and then get chased out by groups of people. There was some times it was actually quite intense. And it's just some of like things that I never really understood as to why they were happening. And, there was a lot of rumors, like when I was young, there's just rumors being spread. And when I was in year 5, someone spread a rumor that I wet the bed at school camp, and it was just completely out of nowhere. But as someone in year 5, just going into a new school, having that spread about you isn't good. And it just kind of went from there. And then even, I could list several cases of things that happened, but just everything along those lines, and just people just wanting to, I don't know, it was just weird.
So how, I guess, how bad did it get? Was it so bad that, you didn't even want to go to school, or you felt lonely, or you were scared, or maybe even depressed?
Yeah, there was definitely times that I didn't want to go to school. And I can definitely say there was times that I was quite depressed by it. And I'm very lucky to have a good family around me to really push me in the right direction. But I guess it became hardest for me when my way to try deal with it was to be cool. And so I would often get myself into a little bit of trouble at school just to try to be the cool person, And then when I mixed getting in trouble at school, it didn't make my home life very good, because my parents are, as they should, discipline their child who's, getting a bit in trouble. Then I guess the true meaning behind me doing that was just to try fit in. And then having people bully me on top of that, it was just a bit of a weird time of, I guess I felt a bit alienated towards everyone. But I had a school psychologist there that was awesome. There was a little puppy that I used to visit there as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awesome. But there was days I didn't want to go to school at all, definitely. And having social media come into play as well, I haven't even got to that stage. I guess because I was on it from so young, I would post photos of myself, and as a young like 13, 14-year-old posting photos of himself, a lot of the guys just don't like that at all, especially when social media was starting out. There was just a lot of cyberbullying. That was when it got really bad. I remember at one point a very long time ago, there was actually a Facebook page saying Alex Hayes should go kill himself. And I was like 14 at the time. So and it got thousands of likes, believe it or not. And it's just a lot of things like that, I guess I was just that one person that in that stage of social media that people could take all the stuff out on.
Look, I ask these questions because for many, our past is what leads us to becoming who we are today. Do you think it was just like a bad time for you and you've moved on, or is the stuff that sort of happened to you, that rough time, actually influences what you're doing now with social media?
I've definitely grown through it. And, as I said earlier on in the interview, I kind of took some time, as soon as I left school, I was blessed to be able to travel and have all these crazy experiences and grow the following, start making money and having my own freedom and independence to do whatever I wanted. So I lived the life straight after school. So it was such a weird contrast of like, I never really liked school too much, and then going over and living my dream life, because I kind of spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. And then it got to the point where I was like, hang on, I need to kind of figure out my foundations again. So I've just spent the last few years really just working on myself. And I guess that does come into play today, because I understand people that can go through, social adversities, and I want to be able to help influence people to get through it, and almost use it as a bit of fuel to just be better and become a strong character.
I watched your Alex Hayes Reborn video on YouTube and some of your other content. I think the lyrics to the music are very deliberate, if I'm right. The Reborn video is amazing. There's a lot more, it's a lot more than a pretty surfer from Sydney trying to get more views on YouTube. You seem to put these videos out and keep the message behind them, I guess, pretty subtle and quiet. I mean, do you want the videos to speak for themselves, or do you find it actually difficult to verbalize or talk about the meanings of these videos?
I got to the point where I realized that I didn't like getting told what to do, but I liked to come up with my own ideas from the seeds that were planted through ways of life. So I guess my whole way of trying to push this positive message is to really plant the seeds, because I want the viewer to come up with their own idea about how they can make their life better, rather than just me telling people all this stuff. It's like it gets boring. So I guess it's like, how can I just be a step in thought towards someone making better decisions for their life? And maybe being subtle is the best way to do it, because I know that that's, how I learn best is when I'm getting ideas through the inspiration from my environment, rather than just being told.
I've seen a couple of articles and videos over the last couple of years where you talk about some massive highs and some really low lows. And from what I've read, you talk about the highs, but never actually expand on what those lows are. Do you feel, would you feel comfortable talking about, you know, maybe one or two of these lows, um, or, to help, I guess, with from learning from that and how that brings you out to be, positive and all that sort of stuff. Are you happy to talk about those kind of things? Because I haven't really seen too much, you talking about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the bullying in school was definitely really hard, because it was over a long period of time, and there was just different phases of it. Mixed with a lot of injuries I've had. I've spent a lot of time being injured, and as an ADHD kid, just wanting to do a lot of activities, being injured was quite difficult.
Yeah.
But every injury had a great meaning, and I know there's been major points of sadness in my life. I lost a really close friend to suicide a couple years ago, out of nowhere, and that was a real eye opener for me. And that was when I really decided to kind of take a break off social, not a break, but just not make social media my focus, and make my personal well-being a priority. Because it's just realizing that it never discriminates. You gotta take these positive steps to focus on your mental health, rather than just letting it become the problem and then trying to figure it out. It's just being proactive with, always doing the steps daily, like meditation, exercise, to really keep that good mindset on all the time. But when my friend passed, it really like hit home, because it was just so out of nowhere and so unexpected. And I guess I just wanted to try anything I could to just make that not as common in the future, because it's a problem in today's day and age, suicide. And we all have such a powerful voice to be able to speak up and inspire people to speak up, and just be the support system for those in need, and to really just try tackle the issue.
Well, there's a lot of young people out there dealing with bullying and depression and suicidal ideation, anxiety, and living their own lows in life. And I know many consider you to be a role model. Do you understand, really understand that you are a role model to some young people out there?
I do understand, and I'm very grateful. And it's to be in this position. It's like, I don't want to say overwhelming, because I love the idea that I can actually help people. But, sometimes I can question things that I do, because I do want to be that role model. I do want to be that example. But I also want to live life, and, I am also young. So it's just trying to not not put too much pressure on myself at all, and to just take every day as it is. And if there's things that I think can help people, I will definitely share it, because that's my why behind everything. It's to inspire people to live daily, essentially.
Yeah. I'm just going to touch on this briefly. You dated YouTube star Eva. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. Gutowski, I guess it is. It was a pretty public breakup in which she accused you of basically dating her to get more followers. Now, I'm not going to go for the low blow and ask you if you did date her because of her followers or anything like that. But I did want to ask about a breakup in general that's in the public domain. What was it hard for you to deal with something that is so private being so public?
Well, yeah, that was another thing that really hit me into a low point, because having someone with millions and millions of followers post something so private up there, and not necessarily true at all, but having all of their fans attack me was quite a difficult time as well, because people don't even know the real story yet. They're so quick to judge. And I think public breakups are just dirty in general, no matter who you are. So it's one of those things. I would never have done something like that in return, because breakups are hard as it is. Having the public opinion never helps at all. Yeah, that was a bit of a difficult time, but yeah, it was growing, it was character building. It was just another lesson of dealing with online opinions and having it not affect me.
Yeah. I I see very, very little online about you, about dating since then. Um, which is be surprisingly for a young surfer guy in Sydney that's got a lot of followers. Have you been single for a couple of years, or are you just now super private about your love life?
No, I've been single. I've had a couple. I've had like one or two little things since then. That was about 4 years ago. Geez, that time flies.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, it's just I'm at a point in my life where I'm not searching. I'm really just on this journey of self improvement, and I'm trying to build a life for myself and be the best person I can be. And it involves a lot of time and a lot of focus.
Mm.
And until I'm always open to anything, always, but I'm just not searching. And so it would be unfair for me to get into a relationship at this point if it didn't feel right, because I wouldn't, one, give the right amount of time and respect that the person I'd see deserves, because I'm just trying to grow up as well. I think I'm a little bit young, and I just got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah. There'd be many that would argue that, like from the previous question, that if you accept and want fame, then you would surely expect your entire life to be in the spotlight. I mean, celebrity gossip is what sells newspapers and online content. Are you trying to keep your private life private for as long as possible, but know that the more you get famous, then the more will become public? Or do you actually genuinely think that celebrities should be entitled to a private life?
It's a good question. I'm not really sure. I just don't really think about it too much. If it happens, it happens, and I will answer any question anyone asks. I'm not in this life to hide. I'm in this life to show myself and to really just, I guess, not overthink it, and just I'm living my life. And so if people want to know more, they can, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, let's get a bit lighter now. Anyone watching or viewing your content would absolutely say that you're a positive person. You must hear the word positive all the time. What keeps you motivated to be positive? I mean, the world's been through a lot in the last 12 months with the pandemic. And although I know you appreciate that pain, you do find opportunities to find the positive things within that. How do you do that?
I think meditation is something that really helps me. It gains perspective in any situation, and it adds that extra bit of presence to not let my thoughts, whether they're negative or positive, affect my actions. And so just being around great people and having a good set of steps in my life that really help bring that positive thought. I enjoy surfing. I'm a massive surfer. I love training. I love to work out. I love to geez, there's so many things I love.
Yeah.
I love to eat sushi and tacos, as you said. But I guess the overall perspective of I get to live this life. I get to do all these things. It's not I have to, it's that I get to. And the opportunities that I have every single day, I'm grateful. And I just am so excited to be able to take up these opportunities and be positive about it, and hopefully just leave this world a better place than when I came here.
Well, let's talk about one of those opportunities. You were the Celebrity Apprentice Australia. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. I just got an email one day, and I just saw it was Channel 9, and there's this show, and I was like, oh, okay. I actually don't really watch TV at all, so it's a whole different world for me. So I had originally thought Celebrity Apprentice was The Block, because I thought Apprentice was the building show. So I agreed to this show thinking that Celebrity Apprentice was the building show, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go and build some stuff and maybe have a good experience and just see what happens. Because I never want to face down to a challenge. I want to consistently always push myself out of my comfort zone. And it was just an opportunity. And I saw it and I was like, screw it. Let's get the tools. Let's get the tool belt on, give it a crack. And then my manager actually told me what the show was about. And I was really, to be honest, I was very, very excited to hear that I wasn't going to be building anything and be put into this business situation. It was great because it inspired me to learn a little bit more about the business world and also the TV world.
You do realize you've given me my promo. Alex Hayes thought he was going to be on the block, but ended up on Celebrity Apprentice Australia.
I know, it's one of those. I mean, I didn't even have a TV, so I didn't even know how to watch the show. Yeah, I don't know. I try to spend most of my time outside, or I watched a bit of TV growing up, but I'd moved into my own place alone at the start of the year, and it's just one of those things where I was like, I don't really need it, and so. Yeah, I don't even know how I'm going to watch it. I'll probably go to a mate's house.
That's quite interesting, really. You know, when someone thinks of someone being a social media influencer, I think they'd be all over the TV shows and entertainment, all that kind of stuff. You don't even have a TV. That's actually quite interesting. Look, I've watched the first episode. The laughing, smiling, positive Alex Hayes was certainly not around in that boardroom with Lord Alan Sugar. Man, that guy is intense. Was he as intense in person as what we see on the screen?
I think what you see on the screen is kind of what you get as well. You know, it was quite a real situation. So yeah, he is who he is, and that's why he is where he is.
Yeah. Does he keep that persona off and on camera, or when the camera stopped rolling, he's sort of laughing and joking with the cast? So, I mean, I felt so uncomfortable for you in the cast. When you watch it, I mean, I know there's editing involved, but he's one full-on guy.
Yeah, very intense. I mean, there is the on and off element for when the cameras are rolling, but most of the time it is what it is, to be honest.
Did you build a rapport with anyone in particular with the cast that you might still keep in contact with?
I've kept in contact with most of them, to be honest. I mean, the Veronicas are incredible humans, and they're so beautiful, and we've kept in touch. And David Jennett is incredible. He's a great guy, or at least I think. I haven't seen the show yet, so we'll see what he says about me.
Yeah,
but Shayna,
watch Sunday's episode first.
Yeah, I know. I still love the guy. He's incredible. So
yeah,
he did tell me, he's like, Alex, be ready. And I'm like, oh shit. But Shayna Blaze is also incredible. She's always so nice. Olivia Vivian, Martha also, you know, we all keep in contact, our little team, and also, you know, are members of the other team as well.
Yeah. I could only imagine, like, going into this being a television learning curve. Was filming sort of what was in your mind as expected, or was it a lot different than what you imagined?
It was long days, and I didn't realize it was going to be, you know, that long of a day, but it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it because I love being put in the deep end and just really having to, you know, just swim and get through it. And it was just a lot of fun. I think having cameras on 24/7 was also quite a cool experience, you know, just knowing that there's always something on you. But I'm kind of used to cameras because of my previous history on YouTube, you know, spending many years creating content on YouTube. But yeah, just a different, you know, it's like traditional versus modern media, I guess.
For people that have never watched the Celebrity Apprentice, what's the basic premise of the show? What's it about, and how does each episode work?
So long story short, you're given a business task, or you're given a task that involves making money. And so then you have two teams, and then in your team, you elect positions, you know, like you'll have the project manager, you'll have, you know, people doing their certain tasks delegated. And then, you know, it's the two groups just have to make as much money as they can in this challenge given. And then whoever wins, all that money goes to charity. So it's also a really cool initiative by Celebrity Apprentice to involve the charity into it, because it's another opportunity just to help and spread a message of positivity, and yeah, just helping. So it's like, it's not just making money for no reason. It's going to a good cause.
Yeah, for sure. Did you enjoy this experience and go with the flow, or when you're in a challenge, is it actually really full on competitive between everyone?
It wasn't. I didn't feel any competitiveness in the team throughout the challenge at all. I just think I just took it however it, I just wanted to do what I was told. I wanted to say, actually David Jennett told me before at the start of the show, because he obviously, could tell that I didn't, know too much about the TV industry. And he just goes, mate, the worst thing you could do is sit down and watch the show and think of all the things you could have said. And I just thought that was great advice, because, I might have maybe held back on a lot of situations, but, I was like, screw it. I'm in this moment. I've got this chance. I'm going to say whatever comes to my mind. I'm ADHD,
Yeah.
so it might get me in trouble. It might not make sense, or regardless, it's going to be funny, but I'm just going to take it minute by minute and react to whatever happens.
Yeah. I guess a little small question with the show. After if someone is eliminated, is that the end of the process, or the end of the person on the show, or do the celebrities that are fired throughout the show? Do they come back later in the show for the finale, or once the person's fired, they're fired?
Can't answer that.
Fair enough. Um, do you get a brief before you meet the celebrities before you go in, just so in case you don't know who they are, and then or do you just meet them organically and work out who they are naturally?
Yeah, I had no idea. I remember just going into the room where everyone met for the first time, and I actually didn't really know anyone at all, apart from just a very select few, and just learning. It took me a day to remember everyone's names.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, no, I didn't get told anything.
Oh wow. Look, there's a lot of reality shows out there, like Dancing with the Stars, SAS Australia, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, The Masked Singer. What kind of show would interest you if you were going to go on a reality show again?
I would love to do something that pushes me physically and mentally. So I really, really liked the SAS show. I thought that was
Yeah.
awesome. I would definitely give that a try in the future. But to be honest, I'm not thinking too much about it. I'm just, if something comes up, I'll always be open to it and just accept it and see where. I'm just got to see how this show goes first.
Yeah, for sure. Look, moving forward now, you're sort of in athlete mode. Tell me about the upcoming triathlon. I think that most people would think that you're pretty fit, but I didn't see a 20-kilometer swim coming. You must be really fit.
Um, I grew up doing surf lifesaving, and very grateful I did, because it taught me skills in the ocean, and then also how to save a life if necessary, if you need to. So surf lifesaving, I guess, built that fundamental fitness in my life, and doing swimming squads every morning when I was in school. I guess I actually have spent the past year with 2 shoulder injuries. I did
Wow.
2 AC joint, like an AC joint in both shoulders at
Geez.
different times. So only the past 4 months have I actually been able to start surfing again and getting back into exercise. And so I just did my 3rd triathlon on the weekend, and I've got one this weekend, my 4th one. And then next week is when I'm doing the 20-kilometer swim. Or, I haven't really been at the maximum training schedule as, as most probably would for races like this, but I just believe that I can do it. And I want to show that the mind is way more powerful than anything. If you believe you can do it, you can achieve it. And so I'm just been training as much as I can, also with the rehab with the shoulder injuries.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to it, because I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous, because I do have the potential of my shoulder shoulders popping out or something bad happening throughout the
Ouch.
swim. But no, I think it'll be okay. I'm just doing it for fun, and I love to push limits.
Well, you've been about promoting healthy lifestyle and focusing on mental health. What content or projects do you have coming up? That focus on these, or have you not got anything quite set yet?
No, I've been filming everything in my life for the past 2 years, pretty much, but I just haven't really been distributing it. I kind of just wanted to still document my life, but maybe not necessarily show it day by day, because that's what I was doing for a very long time. I would do daily vlogs on YouTube, where I'd do activities throughout the day, then edit it that night. And, I'd be full on every single day. And as fun as it was, I kind of crashed out a little bit. And so I was like, okay, I want to live life for 2 years, pretty much I've got 2 years of content that I'm sitting on. So I'm going to start distributing it. I want to create like some sort of series. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm sitting on a lot of gold. So I'm just trying to figure out how to actually get it out there.
Well, in terms of that healthy lifestyle, I'm gathering you're not just talking about diet and fitness. Is this a holistic approach, such as mental, emotional, physical, maybe even financial, or even spiritual? I mean, is it holistic?
Yeah, 100%. I want to bring everything into it. It's just the mind that the mind and body is such a precious vehicle that we've been given, pretty much. And so anything I can do that will help people look after that, I'm stoked. And I just want to also just do it for myself. I want to be the best I can be physically, and I want to continually push myself and have that mind control and discipline to achieve my goals.
Mm. As we're sort of getting towards the end now, some people hate the term social media influencer because in some people's mind that just brings up the idea about someone that has, in inverted commas, no real job. They have a fabulous and rich life, getting famous from riding jet skis and jumping in pools. Is it annoying that people use that term and meaning in that way? Because I mean, I've delved a little bit deeper. This is why we've had this conversation today. I see you really as a social media changer, not a social media influencer, and changing the idea of the negativity of social media and using the platform and saying this platform can be used for positivity and community, rather than just promoting yourself. Is I mean, do you feel a bit annoyed sometimes put into that group that's just called social media influencers? Because there are there are some really annoying social media influencers.
Yeah, look, I completely understand where you're coming from. And there's I can never be annoyed at people to think the way they think, because it's how they think. But I guess I just want to spread the message, and I'm not really in this for myself. I'm in it to really just try promote the purpose. And I went through my years when I was younger to really just post photos of myself and really keep it on that shallow level. But I understand that social media is such an incredible opportunity to build a community and build a platform that can really make a positive change in this world. And it's something that I truly believe in. And to have a documentation of my life as well in chronological order, with my journey of growth, and being able to, highlight the highs, highlight the lows, highlight the mistakes, highlight the comeback, highlight literally everything that happens, to then, be that example. So then other people can really open their mind to their own success and to live every single day to the fullest.
I want to give you some feedback. When I chat to networks about celebrities that I might interview, it's usually quite straightforward. What time is this person available? How long will the interview be? What might be the focus of the interview? But with you, I can say you actually really made an impression on Summit 9. You've been described as engaging, a great head on your shoulders, living his best and a positive life. You actually certainly made an impression on some of the team at 9. I'm sure they won't mind me saying that. Did you realize you made such a positive impression on I suppose the cast and the team and publicity and the people at 9?
I mean, I've got a massive smile on my face and my heart's warm. I feel full after that. No, I mean, I just wanted to go in there and really just be myself. And, I love people. I genuinely really love people. And so I love having conversations and getting to know people and getting to understand people. And I guess just being in that environment with a lot of really cool people, I guess I don't know. I'm grateful to hear that they said that. It's very kind. But yeah, I'm not sure. I just went on there to try be myself.
Yeah. So I guess I asked this question before. I guess you've answered it, but I was going to ask what can we expect for you over the next few months and years? So this is getting the stuff that you've already pre-recorded and getting that out at the moment. That's your focus, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's the content side of my life. There's, I've got a lot of content, stacked up, but also another thing that I've been working on deeply the past few years is my music. I'm releasing music in about 4 weeks. I've got about 10 songs that are ready to go, but I've just been waiting, and it's just a whole different approach to the music industry, and to build that artist brand is something I'm really excited, because it's a new journey, it's a new venture. I'm very inspired, so I'm very excited to release music and then throw some shows that I'll DJ, maybe some festivals, as well as my brand, The Daily Living. I really want to grow that. I've kind of had a bit of a couple months off, but just been rebuilding the foundation. So it's all very, very exciting to build that brand, because that brand's all about inspiring people to live daily. It's such a simple message, but it's so impactful, because today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Today's all we ever have. So you got to make the most of it. As well as I've got a seltzer company that it's also really exciting. It's an alcohol, a new alcohol that's come to Australia last year. Although I actually did a sober stint a couple years ago. I went a year and a half with no alcohol and
Wow.
no coffee as well. So I spent my 21st birthday sober.
Oh,
But then, at the start of last year, COVID, kind of dabbled back into it. And I just wanted to find this healthy alternative, I guess. I can't really say healthy because alcohol is not healthy, but something in the middle where it's like low percentage of alcohol, low percentage calories, and seltzers were just the perfect alcohol for that. And so to be involved with, an alcohol company that doesn't have all the bad stuff in it, I guess,
yeah.
is the happy medium that I'm happy to be a part of.
Can I quickly ask, go back, you're talking about your music. Are you talking about just like beats or instrumental type music? Or are you actually talking about singing? Because I remember in a Q&A that you did that you actually weren't very confident about singing. I think you said that your brother was better than you at singing or something.
Yeah, no, my brother's an incredible singer. He's an incredible musician. But no. So the type of music that's starting this journey is actually just the electronic. But it's, I will get to that point. It's just building the image as a producer, because I've just been producing the past few years. And DJing is also really fun. I really love the idea of being the energy in the room that brings other people's energies up. And DJing is another classic opportunity to be able to bring that vibe up and bring the positive energy. But also, I just love the idea of producing my own music to my own videos, to just have the full circle, to be able to tell stories.
Yeah.
And to just have the opportunity to do that excites me. And music is, I know, music never dies. That music always is there, and it'll be there for the rest of our lives. So to be able to create with no limits in the music sense is very cool.
That's awesome. All right, here we are. The final question. We've talked about a lot of this podcast, some tough. I have asked you some tough questions and delved a little deeper. So I know you have answered this in various questions, but we're summing things up now. We now know there is more to Alex Hayes than surfing and just being a social media influencer. So if we were to start this interview all over again, and I said to you, "Who is Alex Hayes?" What would you say?
My first instinct is just a human being, and that's as simple as it is. I guess, I'm just here living a human experience, and I guess sharing it with a bunch of other humans living their human experience. And I'm just trying to make it a really good one. And I'm trying to make mine a really good experience. And I'm trying to make everyone around me a really good experience for their own selves. And that's just how I see it.
Fantastic. Alex Hayes, thank you so much for your honesty and humbleness. I truly hope that the audience got a glimpse behind the smile and can truly see what you're trying to achieve. You're an awesome young man, a great role model, and have a fantastic attitude. Good luck with whatever comes next and the content that's coming. And thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time.
Alex Hayes can be seen on the Celebrity Apprentice Australia beginning Sunday, the 23rd of May on Channel 9. It will air Sundays to Tuesdays. You, of course, can add him via social media because I'm sure he'll take even more followers. Hopefully, as hopefully, as the audience who we've learned and grown together about the whole area of social media influencers and how not each person fits that stereotypical title. Alex Hayes is an awesome young man who strives to make real positive change in our community.